This is Steven from the Legit PC, and welcome to my review of Dark Souls 2. Sorry that it took so long to get this review out. I was looking at picking up a controller, and it never really fell through, so I can show you guys some controller gameplay. So I was playing this all with a mouse and keyboard, so just putting that out. And if you know that, if you played the first one, I haven't, but if you did, you know that that's not the best idea. Alright, so here, of course, like usual, I don't know why I was glitching right here the first day or whatever, but like usual, we're going to go into the video settings. Now, there's quite a bit of video settings here. Basically, run it all out on a 660 Ti. I think I was pushing like 30%, 40%, something like that. It didn't really take too much of a beating on the video card. So, you know, if you had a 650 or even like a mobile processor, you'll definitely be able to play it for sure. So just go ahead and crank everything up to high and enjoy the game with very little GPU usage. It's a very, very well set up game for multiple different types of PCs. It'll basically run on pretty much anything, at least 30 frames per second. So yeah, all different kinds of stuff on here. I don't think it has any FOV, field of view, but yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into our first look at the engine here in a second. Alright, so another thing to also say is that this game is definitely it's a really, really hard game. I mean, I really thought that I could play the RPG genre, but I never played a game as hardcore as this in this sort of genre. So it is very, very difficult, and it's very, very compelling. Like they say on most places, there's no other game that I've ever played like it that has this good of role-playing elements. And then, you know, I was thinking like, well, there's stuff like, I was like, there's a lot of adventure games that I played, like Assassin's Creed and this and that, but it still never competes with anything like this. But it does get kind of repetitive, and it does drain on you, especially if you came from originally being mainly a multiplayer gamer. So, but you see here, it's definitely a thinking man's RPG. As you time your strikes and, you know, purchase certain things. Watch what you're doing, set up your character, etc., etc. And then I decide to attack this guy right here. Definitely not the best idea. Also, those things that I'm reading it's also got a little bit of a multiplayer experience. Basically, what happens is that those things there and those blood stains that are all over the place are what other players leave to help you out with certain things. So it's very, very cool that if you get stuck, there's a possibility that there's another player that went through the same thing and wants to let you know about what to avoid, this and that. So I would have probably paid attention more and known not to hit that guy because he's pretty beast. So yeah, I tried to keep it still under, probably have the whole video in 20 minutes. So it's basically going to be summed up what the game is here in this 20-minute video you see here. But yeah, so as you're watching this, I guess I'll talk a little bit more about it. It has almost no story element. There is lore to it, but as I was informed from people of the first one and this one, that big fans of it, is that it's not very present in the game. You do have to look really further deeper into the lore. Like you have to watch all of these. Like you have to read. I guess there's things that you could read more about it, and so it's like it gives the best of both worlds, I guess, for people that care about it and people that don't care about it. You know, it doesn't have any of those cutscenes. There's like absolutely no cutscenes in the game. So if you like story, unfortunately there isn't. And if you don't, it's just gameplay at the most part. So very, very little story, except for if you watch my another note is that if you watch my day one of Dark Souls 2, you'll see that beginning video and also the beginning cutscene, as well as inside that room with the witches or whatever. That would be another thing. That adds a little bit to the story. You find out about the hollows, that you're basically dead, etc., etc. You see there that I died, but so this is basically an explanation of the game right here. It's basically you go through a point, you die, you go back through a point, you might die another 3 times, and eventually you get through it. So there you see I got revenge. I found out that you could do this auto guard thing I'm doing right now. And so you go back through the same point and you try to go through the boss that you just tried to beat. You know, doing the best that you can to avoid dying multiple times. So if you see there at the top where my health bar is, and here you saw that when I picked up that orb, that's where I died previously. So you have to go back to get your souls. The souls are the things at the bottom right. Basically, whenever you die, you lose all those souls, and those are put right there. Where you died, so you don't want to go too far, so you can go back and get your stuff back. But you have to watch out so that you don't die a place where you can't go back and get it. As well as there at the top health bar, you notice that when I had full health, it's only going to like a half of my health bar. And the reason why that is every time you die, you become more hollow, and you lose your maximum health capacity. So you have to, like I said, you have to watch how many times you die, because you can only find limited human effigies, which are basically what allow you to get that back. And you see there that I died previously, and now I got revenge on all these guys. And another thing that I noticed is that the last time I fought him, they shot a bolt through on that crossbow and hit that guy over there in the back by the door. So, you know, I go back there and get it. Another big thing is you could do the challenge. The big challenge in this game is to do it all from start to end without going online looking for any help. Now, of course, I couldn't do that. I got to certain points where I just kept dying and never got forward any, and couldn't beat these bosses. And you got to beat the bosses in order to progress forward. You know, so I had to figure out how to kill the boss, because I really found out that I wasn't really in tune with this type of genre where they have a certain, you know, certain pattern that you just go in with pattern. For some reason, I mean, I have played similar stuff to this genre, but for some reason that didn't click for me. So, if you need help, there is those comments on the ground. There's a whole bunch of people there that have gone through, and that, you know, this is maybe one of the only games they play. Also, another note is I put about 16 hours in on this game, and I know people that I've talked to about it that have put, you know, 25 hours, 30 hours in on this game, and are definitely a lot higher level than I am. but I really enjoyed it, and it's really something that you could compare to a couple of other games. Maybe not as high caliber as this game with the custom, being able to customize stuff very, very deeply. And here's a boss battle. So those are basic minion battles there. You see that you could die boss, minions, whatever. I mean, not minions, but you know, just standard monsters. You could die to them just as easily as you could die to a boss. And some of these bosses, after you get a little help on what their attack, combo is, they could be easier to kill than just minions or monsters or demons or whatever. As you see that multiple of those monsters could team up on you and really do some serious damage. So, of course, the big thing on this guy is to stay between his legs. You can't really do anything if you're between his legs. But yeah, I do die, and I eventually do come back and take out that guy later on. Here's another boss fight. This is the flexible sentry. He's got a scythe guy on his back, and he's got another guy on his back. That's a hammer dude. I think they both share the same legs. You don't want to face the sword guy, right? You want to face the hammer guy. Sword guy's got way too far to reach. Yeah, so some more stuff about the game. You will like have whole days that you play it for 2 hours and not really get anywhere. So if you do get frustrated on games, this is probably not the one that you want to do. So I've heard of people that like break. That usually what you do is you play this game with a controller. I have heard of people that break controllers because of this game, because it's so frustrating at a lot of points. But you see here that I do progress ahead and move on to the next area, defeating the flexible sentry there. And then I eventually go back and get revenge on this guy here. So another thing is that if you watch my day one, there's also different classes that you could be, like a mage. You could be a warrior like this that uses a one-hand sword, one-hand shield, or you have two swords. But there's mainly archers, swordsmen such as this, travelers, and people like to do magic, sorcerers, right? And the biggest thing that I've seen on boss battles online is that the mage is definitely by far the one to get if you want to kill the bosses very easily. They get stuff done very, very easily and quickly. I learned now that the character that I picked is very, very hard to play, especially for a new person. But you see, there's little things that you can go through, especially a ranged battle. Like, you can't do anything right now because I'm so far away. And they eventually hit spots where they can't progress past. Alright, so the other two big things, like I said, is buying equipment, buying better equipment, and leveling up, and talking to NPCs. There's a big deal with, talking to NPCs and exhausting all of their talks, all of their dialogue, etc., etc. Anything else? Yeah, I mean, the game's pretty small. I think it's like less than 5 gigs. A lot of gameplay. I think like I said, my friend had 24 hours on it. He said he's about halfway done. So you're talking like maybe, 50 hours of gameplay with this game that I got at Green Man Gaming for another $12 Green Man Gaming cash credit in store that I used to buy. I used to pre-order. What was it called? Watch Dogs. Not Watch Dogs. Is it? Yeah, Watch Dogs. To pre-order Watch Dogs. So I basically got the game for 37. Alright, so this game is pretty awesome. It makes me wish that I played the first one when it first came out, but I didn't. This game has got, like I said, a lot of gameplay for a really, really good price, especially if you could find it cheaper. I would suggest playing it with a controller, as all of the buttons are right there. I never really used the parry or anything like that, but it's very difficult to get used to, and there's a pretty steep learning curve to understand everything, because there's not really a tutorial. There's not a tutorial at all, really, with it. And most of the tutorials that are at the beginning of the game show you the layouts in controllers, not in keyboards and mouse. It's usually only in controllers. So yeah, I would highly suggest that if you get this game, you have a controller to play with, an Xbox 360 controller with a wire on it, so you could hook it into the USB. But yeah, it's a great game, and I really enjoyed playing it. 14 hours, and some of the days I got addicted to it and played it for 3 hours, even though I didn't really go anywhere. But that is definitely an element in the game. A lot of things to discover, and a lot of, if you want to learn about the lore, you can. But it's one of those games that that if you don't want to play online, or if you're into these types of games, you'd pick it up. If you're an online gamer, you might not like this one, especially how frustrating it gets, that like no matter what you do, this equipment, the next time you go back, the same equipment is going to do the same damage, obviously. But and if you use something up, usually at some point you can't find it again. So very, very frustrating game for most people, and it was for me, but I still enjoyed playing it a lot. It was definitely an eye-opener, and it would be a great way to tell a story through, but they kind of didn't really do it that way. They just left it to where, it's just kind of, if you want to know the story, you could go look it up, and otherwise just play the game. So like I said, really good deal. Lots and lots of gameplay for those people that crave RPGs. Very, very depth in-game mechanics, items, NPC involvement, different types of monsters and bosses that you could fight, different types of equipment, things that make things bleed, lightning damage, dark damage, etc., etc. Very, very cool, and a lot of intricate things that play a part, like weight that you're carrying, what you have equipped, invading other worlds, invading other other players. You can invade through to other realms or worlds and invade another player while they're playing, etc., etc. Very, very in-depth game, like I said. Lots of things with it, and I would definitely research it, look up some videos such as my day one, and obviously you look through the whole thing of this one, but look at my day one, look at other people's videos of it. It's really, really, really cool, and I think it was very well executed, and there's definitely a difficulty to it. It's not going to be, you just run through it and you're done. Alright, so this has been Steven from The Legit PC. I'd like to thank you for watching my review of Dark Souls 2. Very, very cool game. If you like this video, please subscribe for more videos like it, and look for some more videos of Dark Souls 2 to see if you want to pick it up. I'll probably have a link of it for it in the description. And I'd like to thank you for watching, and take it easy, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.